Hello and Minglaba. Welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Myanmar's COVID-19 cases reached 290 with 200 recoveries. Just when they thought the virus is well contained, Beijing's measures to handle the resurgence of COVID-19. Rice market in Myanmar sees higher export volume during COVID-19. And a story coverage on access to health funds contribution to measures against COVID-19 in Myanmar. All these reports coming up later on Myanmar Today, but for now, let's take a look at what's happening in local news. President Win Myint, in his capacity as the chairman of the Finance Commission, made an address at the second meeting of the commission for this year at the Presidential Palace in Naypyidaw on Monday. The meeting focused on discussions and approval of Union Budget and Union Budget Bill of 2010 to 2021 fiscal year in the presence of Vice Chairman of the Commission, Vice Presidents Min Sui and Henry Van Theo and concerned officials. The budget allocations for the fiscal year include expenditures of COVID-19 relief funds, the costs for education, health and social sectors, foreign grants and loans, electricity, bridges and roads, drinking water and irrigation water, and the budgets for the Union Election Commission to organize the 2020 general election. The president emphasized the delay of budget processes as in construction, tender invitation, scrutinizing, contracting, and step-by-step payments on project completions, although the Luto has been pointing out the delay frequently. And he also instructed on the use of foreign grants and loans efficiently and effective use of the foreign loan approved by the Luto in 2019 to 2020 fiscal year for COVID-19 relief plan. State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi requested the people on her Facebook page on Monday to share with her if they have any good methods to overcome difficulties during the COVID period. She also requested the people to share with her if they have found any techniques for utilizing the time wisely while having to stay at home far from the outside world. This was what she wrote. The term post-COVID world has come to mean quite a wide range of things. Does it mean we cannot return to the world as we know it before the end of 2019? Even if we find an effective cure, can we not return to the status quo? What are the things we won't be able to change? Because of very harsh and violent experiences, people, countries, the whole world have seen tremendous and irreversible changes. After every age, we could see changes towards progress and also changes towards decline. Progress and decline depend greatly upon the people involved. We need to make efforts to be able to manage in the best possible manner however the situation develops. What we need to do is to tread the best possible path by making use of karma, wisdom, and sustained effort. And the State Councillor also wrote, since some parts of the road are rough, we need to help each other. Myanmar rejected the draft resolution on situation of human rights in Myanmar tabled by the European Union on Monday at the 43rd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. In his statement to the Human Rights Council, Permanent Representative of Myanmar Ukjor Motun highlighted the main reasons, among others, for rejecting the draft resolution, and they are: selective targeting of country-specific resolutions should be avoided. The scarce resources of the UN should not be used in vain. The sovereign right of a country should not be intruded, but rather be respected. The draft resolution does not reflect reality. The international community should extend helping hands to Myanmar instead of imposing impediments on Myanmar. The permanent representative stated that the EU's draft resolution would in no way contribute to finding solutions to overcome the challenges we face, but rather impose serious impediments on our efforts for bringing peace, stability, and development for all the peoples across the country. The permanent representative of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, exercising its right as a member of the Council, called for a vote. Accordingly, the draft resolution was put to a vote at the Human Rights Council and adopted with a vote of 2 against, 8 abstentions, and 37 in favor. The Philippines and Venezuela voted against the draft resolution in support of Myanmar. Angola, Cameroon, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India, Indonesia, Japan, Nepal, and Senegal voted abstention. With the coordination of Myanmar Embassy in London, a total of 250 Myanmar citizens, 178 seamen in harbours of Britain, Brazil and Germany, and 72 Myanmar citizens stranded in Britain were brought back on a relief flight of Qatar Airways arranged by shipping companies to the Yangon International Airport on Monday. Myanmar has allowed relief and special flights for bringing back the Myanmar seamen stranded in foreign countries due to termination of their duties to control COVID-19, facing difficulties at their arriving countries that are on lockdown and suspension of international airlines. Myanmar has brought back about 1,000 seamen as of today. Myanmar delegation participated in the ASEAN Senior Officials Preparatory Meeting, PrepSOM, second meeting of the ASEAN Coordinating Council Working Group on Public Health Emergencies and Joint Consultative Meeting, which were held on Monday via a video conference from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Naypyidaw. Han, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, participated in the ASEAN Senior Officials Preparatory Meeting, PrepSOM. The meeting discussed and exchanged views on ASEAN community building efforts, applications of non-regional countries to accede to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, follow-up to the special ASEAN and ASEAN Plus 3 summits on COVID-19, preparations made for the informal meeting of ASEAN foreign ministers, 21st ASEAN Political Security Community Council meeting, 26th ASEAN Coordinating Council meeting, and the 36th ASEAN Summit, as well as ASEAN's external relations. And that's all with the local news, and let's take a look at the first report now. At a time when the local transmission is assumed to be clear in the country, the business and the lifestyle of the people have resumed again with a new normal under the restrictions of the guidelines from the Ministry of Health and Sports. The Ministry of Health and Sports reported the number of COVID-19 cases has reached 290 with 200 recoveries. The government also warned the people not to be careless about the spread of infections as the new normal conditions come to life. Pomo and Soedana will tell us more.
The Ministry of Health and Sports reported that the number of COVID-19 cases has reached 290 with 200 recoveries. From May 16 to June 21st, a total of 104 returnees tested positive for COVID-19. At a time when the local transmission is assumed to be almost clear in the country, the business and the lifestyle of the people have resumed again with the new normal lifestyle and the remaining restrictions of the guidelines from the Ministry of Health and Sports. The government also warned the people not to be careless about another spread of infections as the new normal lifestyle comes to life. Ujojoton, Region Hluttaw representative from Line Township, spoke to MI Radio through phone interview about his opinions on the local transmission. He said,
The infection of the local transmission in the country is said to be almost under control with the help of the Ministry of Health and Sports and the state councillors' encouragement to the people. Having enough quarantine centers at the border gates and asking all the returnees to stay quarantined are good actions to prevent the spread of COVID-19 infection in the country. As we have seen, most of the cases are from the returnees, and the people can go back to their work and the operations have started, but the government's restrictions on the crowded events and places in the country are still in effect. Meanwhile, the death rate is only 6 deaths, and the recoveries are about 1/3 of the total. So we can say we are in good situation by comparing to other countries. Now we need to be careful and should be prepared for the second wave. Wearing masks, washing hands, and following the rules and regulations are the best protections for all the people.
The National Health Laboratory tested 372 persons, and the Department of Medical Research in Yangon Region tested 199 persons who are suspected of being infected with the virus in the latest rounds of testing. Dr. Tan Aiso, Director of Health Knowledge Promotion Division from the Ministry of Health and Sports, spoke to MI Radio through phone interview about the review of the very first cases compared to the current situation. He said,
In our
country, the outbreak started on 23rd of March with imported cases, and then the local transmissions was found on 27th of March. It's like a fire spark to the fuel. From these first cases, the number of infections in the local and imported cases was upped. Since the government announced some stay-at-home plan in some restricted townships, we could say that we were able to control enough. Then we tested all the suspected patients and contact persons related with the confirmed cases. By carrying out anti-COVID-19 measures in the crowded townships is also helpful in protecting and preventing. The people need to wear a mask even though the local transmission is almost controlled, and they should avoid the crowded places and going out for no reasons. This is the only way to protect ourselves from the infections.
Maki Meiji, the resident from Bazonao Township, spoke to MI Radio about her opinion about COVID-19. She said,
"ဒီ COVID ဆိုတာတော်တော်ကိုကြောက်စရာကောင်းတဲ့ကပ်ရောဂါကြီးတစ်ခုပါပဲတကယ်လို့ဒါပြန့်နှံ့သွားမယ်ဆိုရင်
This situation is also very important moment for all of the people in the country. This coronavirus is announced as pandemic by the WHO, and it can be very uneasy for all of us to prevent its infection when we look at the infected country. We also have had knowledge of how to stay. We can't stay in the lifestyle that we used to before the COVID-19. We should take care of ourselves for the sake of all of the people."
ကျော်လွှားသွားမယ်လို့ဆီမှာထင်ပါတယ်
From January 31st to June 21st, the government tested over 62,000 people for the disease. Yangon has the highest number of COVID-19 patients among regions and states of the country, and Kayin State ranks second. Gaya State still remains the only region in Myanmar without any reported case. The global pandemic has spread to 188 countries, killing over 460,000 people and afflicting over 8.82 million people, according to Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center.
We'll move on to the next report. Chinese health authorities on Monday said that 18 new COVID-19 cases were reported on the Chinese mainland on Sunday, of which 11 were local transmissions and 7 imported, with no new deaths. Among the cases of local transmission, Beijing registered 9 and Hebei province registered 2, the National Health Commission said in its daily report, with 7 new asymptomatic patients. Akajo has more.
It has been 10 days since Beijing reported its first local coronavirus case, after more than 50 days with 0 new locally transmitted cases. As of Saturday, a total of 227 new confirmed cases had been recorded. Chinese health authorities on Monday said the 18 new COVID-19 cases were reported on the Chinese mainland on Sunday, of which 11 were local transmissions and 7 imported with no new deaths. Among the cases of the local transmission, Beijing registered 9 and Hebei province registered 2. The National Health Commission said in its daily report with 7 new asymptomatic patients. For more on what's behind the resurgence of the COVID-19 infection in Beijing and the government's response to that, Masood Damu from China Media Group, CRI Myanmar Department, explained.
လက်တလုံးမှာတော့ဘေဂျင်းမြို့မှာလူ3,560,000 nuclear acid တိုင်းတာစစ်ဆေးမှုတွေဒါပြုလုပ်ပြီးဖြစ်တယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့သိရတယ်။ဘေဂျင်းမြို့အတွက်ကူးစက်ရောဂါကာဝယ်ထိန်းချုပ်ရေးလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုအစိုးရအနေနဲ့ဘယ်လိုကန့်သက်ချက်တွေထားပြီးတော့ချမှတ်ဆောင်ရွက်တယ်လဲဆိုရင်ဥပမာမလိုအပ်တဲ့ဘေဂျင်းမြို့ပြင်ကိုထွက်ခွင့်မပြုတော့တာတွေမြေအောက်မှာဖွင့်ထားတဲ့ရေထွက်ကုန်ပစ္စည်းရောင်းဝယ်ရေးနေရာတွေအားလုံးပိတ်တာတွေနောက် case scan တွေကနေဝင်လာတဲ့စားတောက်ကုန်တွေကိုတင်းကျပ်စွာစစ်ဆေးတာတွေနောက်ဒီအန်ဒီဖြစ်ပွားနိုင်ဝယ်ရရှိတဲ့လူနေရက်ကွက်ရှင်ပါတိလက်ကားစီယာတက်ဆိုင်သူတွေကိုဘေဂျင်းမြို့ပြင်ကိုထွက်ခွင့်မပေးတော့တာတွေနောက်ဘေဂျင်းမြို့ပြင်ကိုမဖြစ်မနေထွက်ရမယ်ဆိုရင်လည်း9ရက်အတွင်းပေါ့နော် nuclear acid ဒီတိုင်းတာစစ်ဆေးမှု negative ဖြစ်ကြောင်းအထောက်အထားပြသရမယ်ဆိုတာတွေနောက်ဒီရက်ကွက်တွေအားလုံးမှာတင်းကျပ်တဲ့ဝင်ထွက်မှုတွေပတ်စုံပြန်လေကျင့်သုံးတာတွေဘတ်စကားမြေရောက်ရထားစီးနေတဲ့နေရာတွေမှာလူဦးရေကန့်သက်တာတွေနောက်လွန်ခဲ့တဲ့14ရက်အတွင်းပေါ့နော်ရှင်ပါတိ Richanto နောက်ထန်းထောင်ဟုံးလျင်စတဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဈေးတွေကိုရောက်ဖူးတဲ့သူနဲ့သူတို့နဲ့နီးကပ်စွာထိတွေ့သူတွေအားလုံး nuclear acid တိုင်းတာစစ်ဆေးမှုတွေပြုလုပ်တာတွေ နောက်တက္ကသိုလ်ကျောင်းတွေပိတ်လိုက်တာတွေပြဝဲအားကစားပြိုင်ပွဲဖျော်ဖြေပွဲတွေကိုချက်ချင်းရပ်ဆိုင်းလိုက်တာတွေစီးရုံတွေမှာယောဂပြဖို့အတွက်ကြိုတင်ချိန်ပြီးတော့မှတ်ပုံတင်တဲ့စနစ်ကိုသာအသုံးပြုရတော့တာတွေနောက်ပြည်내ဒေသအမျိုးတွေကိုဖျက်ကျော်တဲ့ခီးသွွားလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုရပ်ဆိုင်းလိုက်တာတွေနှာခေါင်းစည်းတက်တာတွေကိုပြုလုပ်ကြတာတွေမလိုအပ်ဘဲနဲ့စူးစီးမှုမပြုတာတွေနောက်စူဝေးမှုကိုတင်းကျပ်စွာတားဆီးကာဝယ်တာတွေကိုချက်ချင်းဆိုသလိုပေါ့နော်အစိုးရပိုင်းကကန့်သက်ချက်တွေနဲ့အရေးပေါ်ဆောင်ရွက်တာတွေ့ရပါတယ်ရှင်
The total number of confirmed cases on the Chinese mainland stands at 83,396, and the cumulative death toll at 4,634, with 114 asymptomatic patients under medical observation. On June 13th, the Municipal Health Commission issued a list of 98 testing organizations with a daily capacity of more than 90,000. On June 14th, a total of 76,499 residents were tested within the city. As of June 14th, 29,386 people who had a travel history to Shinfati market within 14 days were sampled and 12,973 of them tested. Since the outbreak, Beijing quickly expanded its testing pool. By Sunday, an additional 26 organizations were added to the testing groups, pushing the maximum testing capacity to over 230,000 per day.
တရုတ်နိုင်ငံအတွင်းမှာတော့ COVID-19 ရောဂါကူးစက်မှုအသစ်မတွေ့ရှိတဲ့ရက်ပေါင်း55ရက်ကြာမြင့်ပြီးတဲ့နောက်မှာတော့ဒီမျိုးတော်ဘေကျင်းမှာဇွန်လ17ရက်နေ့ကနေစပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော် COVID-19 ကူးစက်ခံရသူတွေကိုတကြော့ပြန်တွေ့လာရပါတယ်။ရောဂါကူးစက်ခံရသူတွေထဲမှာဆိုရင်ပြည်ပကနေဝင်ရောက်လာသူ19ဦးရှိပြီးတော့ဘေကျင်းက36ဦးနဲ့ကျန်သူတွေကတော့ဒေသခံရောဂါကူးစက်ခံရသူတွေဖြစ်ကြပါတယ်။အများစုကဆိုရင်ကုန်စိမ်းလက်ကာရောင်းချတဲ့ပေါ့နော်ရှင်ဖာတိဈေးကိုတွားရောက်ခဲ့မှုတယ်လို့ဇွန်လ12ရက်နေ့ကပြုလုပ်တဲ့သတင်းစာရှင်းလင်းပွဲ
This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
And we have more reports coming up here on Myanmar Today. Although there was some concerns among the businessmen in the rice market that the outbreak of COVID-19 might disturb the market, but the report says that the market did not suffer any hit. Much to its surprise, Myanmar was able to export the rice more than expected initially, and Myanmar also did not face any shortage of rice in the domestic market. Williamson will tell us more.
Myanmar is one of the biggest rice producers in Asia, with a sufficient production of rice to export to other neighboring countries, such as China and ASEAN countries. However, China remains the biggest receiver of rice export from Myanmar, and there is also the rise of demand from other ASEAN countries such as Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. Myanmar also has the privilege of exporting rice freely to European Union. The domestic rice market also sees its stable market at this time. Although there were some concerns regarding the outbreak of COVID-19 that it might affect rice market, but the market sees the higher export volume than expected. U Aung Dan U is the chairman of Myanmar Rice and Paddy Traders Associations, and he spoke to MI Radio about the current situation of the rice market in Myanmar, and he said,
Since WHO first declared COVID-19 as a pandemic, we Myanmar Rice and Paddy Trader Association, in collaboration with the relevant ministry, UMFCCI, the union government, we made a preparation for any possible shortage of rice in the domestic market. And the outcome of careful preparation is that there is no shortage of rice and we could even export. The export of rice during COVID-19 was persistent, and even in the domestic market, there is plenty of rice. But what happened in the month of April? It was the time when the government put restrictions for the prevention of COVID-19, and we halted rice export in the month of April. But the export resumed from the month of May regularly. Since the beginning of May till the mid-May, roughly during these 45 days, more than 150,000 tons of rice were exported, which were worth more than $100 million in cash. As the rice export is being carried out regularly, there is a stable rice market domestically and the rice market in Myanmar is doing well.
Koang Myotan is one of domestic rice traders who has been doing shipping the rice to Yangon for years, and he also spoke to my radio and said,
စဖြစ်ဖြစ်ရင်းကတော့နည်းနည်းရှိသွားတာပေါ့နောက်ပိုင်းကျတော့လည်းဒီလိုပုံမှန်ပါပဲဒီလိုပဲလဲပတ်နေတာပါပဲ
When the first case was reported in Myanmar, the business got affected slightly for a while, but later on the business got stable. The reason this business did not get affected by the outbreak of COVID-19 was we only do the shipping for goods and we don't carry passengers, so the flow of goods was running was usual. One thing good about the business during COVID-19 was that the petrol price was really down, which was good for us as we use petrol for the ship.
but the monsoon is not the time the local business in this sector is doing well. By this time, the local market is seeing the slowdown of the market, which is completely normal on its yearly basis. Umin Sidhu is a rice shop owner at Nyambil Lazy Market, and he also spoke to my radio and said,
ခြေနေတွေကနည်းနည်းပါလာပေါ့နည်းနည်းလေးအေးသွားတာအေးသွားတယ်ဆိုတော့ဟိုအတူရက်က
The local has been slightly down for now. The main reason is there are people donate rice to the needy and the price of the rice has also slightly increased. Post-monsoon is a time when rice market at local level is doing really well, starting the month of October and November, when we see most of the donation events are held in the community. But for now, the main customers we sell are the restaurants and other distributors. The rice market was stable till the spread of COVID-19 was reported in Myanmar, but after the reported case in Myanmar, it got destabilized.
This is Williamson for MI Radio.
Well, we have just one last report coming up on access to health funds contribution. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, is operating Access to Health Fund, which is currently contributing towards the fight against COVID-19 in Myanmar. Access to Health procures PPE sets, involves testing capacity enhancement, as well as provides mental and psychosocial support amid COVID-19. Thodas Husin has the details.
Access to Health Fund, which is under United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, focuses on health equity for the most underserved and vulnerable populations, especially in conflict-affected areas, by bringing essential services closer with different key health interventions. Since the epidemic outbreak of COVID-19 in Myanmar, it has been working together with the government as well as with the Ministry of Health and Sports in response to COVID-19. MI Radio reached to the program manager of Access to Health Fund through a phone interview, and he talked more about its activities.
Our current support to MOHS mainly goes to two main areas. The first area I would like to mention here is infection prevention and control, for which we are procuring thousands of PPEs to support the frontline workers. So far, we have delivered over 3,000 PPE food sets, and also another 100,000 PPE food sets are also coming in. The second area we are supporting is laboratory and testing. We closely working with the National Health Laboratory to increase testing capacity for COVID-19. We have now delivered 55,000 PCR test kits and 65,000 viral transport media and tubes, which are quite essential to transport specimens collected from other parts of the country to National Health Laboratory.
The Ministry of Health and Sports is improving the testing rate for COVID-19 by expanding more laboratories in some towns of the country.
Previously, the Ministry of Health and Sports could only test 100 to 200 people in a day. At present, we can test thousands of specimens with a peak of over 2,000 testing in a single day. In Yangon, National Health Laboratory and the Department of Medical Research are doing testing, and there are laboratories in Mandalay and Malamyang as well. The laboratory in Daungji will start running soon at the end of this month. We have one more laboratory opening in Lashio, but it will take about 3 more months.
As thousands of overseas returnees are coming back into the country through border gates, Access to Health Fund is also supporting at the border gates.
Additionally, our project sites are located in states along Myanmar Thailand, Myanmar China, and Myanmar Bangladesh border areas. So we are supporting Ministry of Health and Sport activities at the points of entry and border gates to enable, early detection of COVID-19 suspects and also referral for necessary treatment and case management. So this global support also extends to strengthening services at quarantine facilities in the border areas.
Access to Health Fund is also reaching to the rural community by spreading COVID-19 knowledge in different ethnic languages, and it is working closely with the ethnic health organizations. Moreover, it is providing support for mental and psychosocial issues caused by the COVID-19.
The important issue we are noting in this critical period is, the heightened risk of domestic violence. Many people could be stressed out, staying indoors with, reduced employment opportunities and also increased social economic tensions. So all these, conditions are quite conducive to domestic violence and other gender-based violence situations. We recently launched a list of service contacts for mental health and psychosocial support on FAMO website and Facebook page. We are planning to provide referral mechanisms for online consultations and counseling services through partnerships with civil society organizations, community-based organizations, and also as well as faith-based organizations. So this plan includes trainings on mental health, first aid, and also early recognition of domestic violence and how to link it with available services for the violence survivors. So we will further announce once it is confirmed and finalized.
The investment for COVID-19 response by Access to Health Fund is $11 million, and with more fundraising, the spending cost reached to 17 to 18 million US dollars. This is Dora Swesen reporting from MI Radio.
That's all we have for today's reports, and here are the international news on Myanmar Today. Leaders from China and the European Union on Monday affirmed their commitment to expanding economic ties through closer cooperation. This comes at a time when both sides are looking to gradually get the post-COVID-19 operations back on track. Based on the release, the two sides said they are committed to finishing up the China-EU Comprehensive Investment Agreement by this year, a key agreement that would afford broader access to the Chinese market for European business and investors. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will unveil the latest easing of Britain's coronavirus lockdown on Tuesday, when he will also announce the conclusion of a review into whether a 2-meter rule on social distancing should be relaxed, according to his office. Britain's economy has been hammered by the lockdown to stop the spread of COVID-19, and although non-essential retailers were allowed to reopen last Monday, many businesses, particularly in the hospitality and leisure sectors, have remained closed. Employers in the hospitality sector were reported to complain that the 2-meter rule prevents them from being able to operate as lockdown measures are lifted. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Monday hailed the successful opening of the China-Arab States Political Parties Dialogue Extraordinary Meeting, highlighting the close ties between China and Arab countries, and called for joint efforts in building a community with a shared future for China and Arab countries. Noting the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Xi said the virus once again proves the urgency and significance of building a community with a shared future for mankind. The launch of the final satellite in China's Beidou 3 navigation system has been rescheduled for Tuesday. Some technical problems were discovered in the Long Mark 3B carrier rocket during the pre-launch checks. The China Satellite Navigation System Management Office said the problems have been fixed. The rocket has also undergone a series of tests before the propellant filling, with its functions and properties meeting the mission requirements. The filling of the conventional propellant has been completed. In other news, TikTok users and fans of Korean pop music took partial credit for inflating attendance expectations at a less-than-full arena at President Donald Trump's first political rally in months, held in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on Saturday. Social media users on platforms including the popular video-sharing app have said they completed the free online registration for the rally with no intention of going. Prior to the event, Trump's campaign manager, Brad Pascal, said there had been more than 1 million requests to attend. However, the 19,000-seat BOK Center Arena had many empty seats on Saturday evening, and Trump and Vice President Mike Pence canceled speeches to an expected overflow area outside. The Tulsa Fire Department tallied the crowd at about 6,200 people. Well, that's all we have for now. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again. Goodbye.